Welcome to SkinSync, the official podcast of Elevate-Derm Alliance, your trusted source for the latest in dermatology for PAs and NPs. Join our hosts for real clinician perspectives and expert guest insights as they explore everyday dermatology topics with practical takeaways.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of the SkinSync podcast. My name is Shanna Moranti, and I'm a dermatology PA from Naples, Florida.
And I'm Bucciita, dermatology PA from Atlanta, Georgia.
And we are very fortunate today to be joined by another wonderful dermatology PA who's been in practice for over 20 years, Amy Snow. She has a practice, Snow Dermatology, in Oregon, and has started a passion project called Project Happy Face. And we're going to be discussing what that is and how your love of dermatology and your love of treating patients has developed into this amazing foundation that is now helping people all throughout your state and potentially future states to come. Tell us all about it and tell us about yourself as well.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me. It's so wonderful to be here. I started Project Happy Face in 2009. So we are a 501c3 with, we have a tax ID, and we are dedicated to.
It's okay. So I don't know that you need to define 501c3, but just say like maybe a not-for-profit.
Yeah.
Or is that, or not better, a nonprofit organization? So a 501c3, a nonprofit organization.
Oh,
we do the germ. We don't do the money. Let's be honest.
Project Happy Face is a nonprofit dedicated to disadvantaged teenagers with acne. That was started in 2009 and now expanded and added some new programs and sort of pivoted the mission a little bit to tailor to creating access to rural communities.
It's fantastic. What brought up this idea? How did you come up with this?
I was born and raised in a small town in Idaho, a rural town. Grew up on a dirt road. Always so excited when the mammogram bus came into town and you'd like drive by the hospital and you'd know that the mammogram bus was there. So that was always really fun. And I was just always knew that I needed to give back. When you grow up in a really small rural town, it's basically the whole community works together and you grow up with the community. So it's something super, super special. And when I got to Los Angeles and then practiced in Beverly Hills, I loved it, but I was missing that community aspect. So I was trying to bridge my love for dermatology and my rural roots to create something fun and spread kindness in a way that I feel small towns create.
Obviously, it's comes straight from the heart, and you can tell, and your face just lights up. I wish we were doing a video podcast right now because you just glow when you start speaking about this. So I could tell that you are so passionate about helping rural communities, and obviously that comes from your roots. But I also love that it started and originated from acne, because that is such a wonderful disease state that I love to treat, and I love to change teenagers' lives and young adults and older adults. I mean, it's not just a teen disease, and we know that. We know that it does affect so many people. So how did it start with acne, and where is it growing, and how are you expanding this mission?
I think it started in Beverly Hills. When we start practicing, you get all the acne patients, right?
Sure.
Because you're the newbie. Nobody likes to treat acne. And I realized, oh my gosh, my patients are getting better, this is so great. And I think the transformation that you witness is mind-blowing, and it's so powerful. And it just gives you more steam to want to just go to the next room and see more patients. And the teenagers come in and they're hiding underneath their hoodies and they're slouched in the chair and they don't really want to talk and they're mumbling. And then you give them some medication and they come back and they're definitely improved, because most of the time they haven't been doing anything. Sure. You just tell them to start washing their face, right? It's so easy. So I realized that honestly, treating acne is pretty easy. And so I used that as leverage to get the kids in the clinic. But during the creation of forming a relationship that ends up being a friendship, I would mentor them. And I was that one additional voice that hey, what are you doing? What are you doing for college? Are you studying for the SAT? Are you studying for the ACT? What schools do you want to go to? And so that's when I started partnering with the counselors at the high school, and they were identifying kids that had acne, but were sort of diamonds in the rough and falling behind, like maybe they were broke at home or something, right? And so they would come in, and I was able to cure their acne so they could conquer the world once they graduate from high school.
I love that.
And it was really, really fun because we'd take their before pictures, and then I would be with them the whole time during their like college application process. And then once they got accepted, we would buy a t-shirt from their college, and we'd have their post pictures with their clear faces, and they're off in school now.
That's phenomenal. So it's really more than just treating their acne, and you're really changing their lives and kind of changing the trajectory of their careers, essentially. Now, one thing that I thought was wonderful and hilarious is that there's a contract that you have with these patients, right? There's a requirement that you have of that. What is that requirement?
It's sort of a lengthy application. I'm not going to lie. This is definitely not a handout. This is a lift up. And so you have to be committed. I don't have the time to just give things out all day long. I need something back from you. Like, I need to know that you are going to be a little seed of goodness out in the community. And so you have to sign a contract to smile at strangers. Think about it. You guys, think about it. How often are you standing in line at the coffee shop and like somebody's all hussy in front of you, somebody's all cushy in back of you, and everybody's on their phone, and it's just like, goodness. Can we just stand in line and smile and be like, hey, girl, on your dress, have a good morning? Like, what? So they have to smile at strangers. They have to take a pledge to increase civility in their community. So during our acne visits, whatever they were interested in, for example, I had one kid, his name is Edgar, and he wanted to be a politician. So we would just kind of talk about those sorts of things and what issues in politics, is he interested in? So yeah,
This is fantastic. I love that so much.
they also have to write 4 essay questions and bring in a letter of recommendation from a teacher.
Oh, you're serious, bro.
Wow.
Back when I first started, they had to submit their grades. So they did have to have a 3.0 GPA. Politics has changed that, and so we've had to be very pivotal to reflect the changes in the academic system in the state of Oregon particularly. And so we don't have that grade requirement anymore.
But you are creating future leaders, future mentors. And even if it's just future happy faces, you are kind of getting those kids excited to be involved and to be good human beings, in the future, which is so amazing.
They are our future leaders. And I think we all should remember that when a pediatric patient walks in.
For sure.
Because the way that they perceive us is going to create their path forward. We want them to have a great experience. We want them to be inspired by us. We want them to remember us the next day and think, oh my gosh, that was a really great visit. That person was really nice to me. Think about people that have inspired you when you were a kid. I bet you both can remember 2 or 3 people just off the top of your head.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can wave your magic wand, where would you see Project Happy Days going in the next 10 years, 20 years, long term?
Well, we are hoping to expand and have chapters in every state. We have a group of PAs in Texas that are really actively trying to start a chapter there. And we obviously welcome anyone else that would love to start a chapter in any other state.
So, and let me decide how I want to pose this question. So how can other dermatology PAs, nurse practitioners, if they have a passion, if they want to start a non-for-profit, if it is within rural areas or areas that are very difficult to access healthcare, access, dermatology care, how did you come up with this vision? How did you keep moving forward and pursuing this dream? And how can other APPs do the same?
I was really lucky, and a supervising physician in Beverly Hills that really inspired me to sort of start doing pro bono stuff. And she would allow me to do things on Saturdays, and we would invite, the fire departments and things like that. And I don't think that necessarily you need to wake up on Monday morning and start and call a lawyer and formulate a 501c3. I think you can start small. So maybe it's just you and your MA. Maybe you just call up the local firehouse and say, hey, We know that firefighters are at a higher risk of skin cancer, and I would love to come get your squad or your team screenings. We do that with the fire department. We do the police departments. You can do your local parks and recs department. You know, the workers that are out in the parks most of the time are seasonal workers, and so they don't have insurance, or they're underinsured, and so you can screen them. If skin cancer is not your jam, then maybe you talk to your supervising physician and just start seeing a couple extra acne kits a week.
So it started with acne, it's progressed to skin cancer screenings, and now procedures. So you have a trailer, which was on site at this conference, and we got to tour the trailer. It's amazing. It's bright and it's beautiful and it's very happy. And it just makes everyone feel welcome. But you're now taking that on the road. You're literally taking the show on the road and providing dermatology care to really rural areas that need you.
Yes, that is correct. Sorry.
That was not really a question.
You have to read.
As it might be fun to re-ask. Yeah. Or maybe you ask. So it was a long question. Started with acne.
Okay.
The 30K.
Yeah. So how can other people get involved? Yeah. So maybe ask, should I scrap that question and have Pucci re-ask it? So yeah, it started with acne, but then became so much more with screenings.
And see, yes, it started with acne. And once we got the mobile trailer and partnered with Win Levy, I started realizing, looking up the map, where we were going to go and find these children in school districts in rural counties. There's 36 counties in Oregon. 24 of them are rural and frontier. And if you look at the map, Oregon is huge. And the last stop, really before they call it the frontier range, is Central Oregon, Bend, Oregon. So it's super great because we can hop on the road and go 2 to 4 hours to these little towns where there's a population of 300. Basically, because they're such small towns, it's so neat because the schools are like one school. So it's grades 7 to 12. So there's 32 kids. So we just treat the whole school.
I love that.
Which is so fun. And I realized there's no specialty care. There are nurse practitioners that are holding up the forts by themselves in these rural areas. How can we, as derm PAs, elevate dermatology care? That was what I was trying to figure out. And so we expanded our program and we added a couple additional things. One of them is our Screen to Save program, which is skin cancer screenings. And I partnered with a dermatopathologist, Dr. Curtis Thompson. He founded CTA Pathology in Portland, Oregon, and he has granted us free biopsies and any pathology services for free for anyone that's not insured. So what happens now is we're not just screening. We're driving 4 or 5 hours and finding melanomas, finding skin cancers, and saving lives. The next program is the educational part for the HCP or the MP, whoever is housing these rural clinics. And so we've been gifting them the dermatology textbook because they don't even have a derm book in their clinics. And so when I call and introduce myself and tell them about the trailer and the programs, I always ask, do you have a derm book? Do you have an atlas? So we've been spreading the atlases across the frontier, which has been great. I did get a grant from Arcutis, which is really exciting. And so we are providing educational services to the HCPs on those 3 disease states: seborrheic dermatitis, atopic dermatitis, and psoriasis. And just really, it's exciting because dermatology is in a really, really exciting time right now. Thank goodness. It is amazing. And so here we are, rolling into town with the acne, the screenings. Here's a textbook. Does anybody need a biopsy? And by the way, these are the greatest, newest dermatology medications. By the way, there was something more than mometasone out there. And they're loving it. So the next step is trying to figure out how to get biologics. So
For sure.
Really amazing work. And you guys, when she says rural, it's really rural. I watched a video on your Instagram page a few days ago where you were on the road with your mobile unit and stuck behind a herd of cows, and you had to wait for these cows to be to move off the road to get to your destination. So I think that was hilarious. But it's wonderful what you're doing. I love that you're getting corporate sponsorship as well. This is fantastic. Tell us more about that.
I have been trying to acquire more sponsors and partners because together we're stronger and better, right? And luckily, we've had some good success and some really strong partnerships that have made an incredible impact and getting us like further out, deeper, and creating more programs, which is great. The other fun thing that we did is create the Derm Buddy program. So if any dermatology PA wants to volunteer in any state, we can partner them up with one of these rural healthcare providers, and then they can create a little collaborative friendship and discuss dermatology cases. So we really are the lifeline for these rural clinics in the dermatology field. And I think together with the pharmaceutical industry and support and the derm PA community, we can completely elevate dermatology care.
So if there are dermatology APPs that are listening to this podcast and go to projecthappyface.org and are inspired by your story, but they live in another state, they're licensed in another state, but they want to help, they want to do something, they have maybe some time, they're able to see you in action, like what is the next step? What can they do? What is the call to action here?
Absolutely. There's several options. So they could be a derm buddy from far. They could also come and volunteer with me. So Oregon is great in the fact that if you have a license in another state, you can come volunteer for 30 days with that license.
Fantastic.
It's amazing. It's a sheet of paper. You fill out your name, your current license, and the dates that you want to come hang out with Project Happy Face.
And what does collaboration look like
For
the PAs, nurse practitioners, and a dermatologist per se? How does collaboration work in your state?
Oh, in collaboration. Yeah, we've had some great advances in the PA scope, which is another exciting avenue that's going on in dermatology right now. So we are physician associates, and we have CPs now, collaborative physicians. So that is just a piece of paper that stays in the office, and you don't even have to submit it to the Oregon Medical Board. And then our legislation, when it changed, allowed PAs to open their own practices. And so I absolutely took advantage of that, and we opened Snow Dermatology in March.
Amy, you are an inspiration. You were absolutely amazing. I'm really excited to see this company continue to grow with time. And I think you've really motivated a lot of us to do more, with our skills and our abilities. So we thank you for being here today.
Oh, it was an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much.
Amy, you're amazing. And I know that your heart is going to continue to grow, and you're going to continue to inspire and continue to be mentors for now a lot of APPs out there that will hear this and will go to your website and will, continue to join in your mission and continue to spread happiness and happy faces throughout this country. So thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing your incredible story. And thanks for inspiring us. I think Bucci and I are like, we're ready to get a trailer. Let's go. Come on, Bucci. Let's take the show on the road.
It's really fun. And I think we just all need to remember that it's so easy to give back. And it doesn't have to be something huge. It could be 20 minutes a week. You can give your time. You can give, your resources. You can give your talent. So yeah, whatever, anything, the little of this is what matters. And I think if we all just put little seeds of goodness out in the world, we can change.
Excellent.
So please check out projecthappyface.org and stay tuned for another episode of the SkinSync podcast.
Thanks for tuning in to SkinSync. Don't forget to subscribe to SkinSync on Spotify or Apple Podcasts so you never miss an episode. To explore more of Elevate's educational and career resources, visit elevate-derm.com. Please note, this podcast is for informational purposes only and not a substitute for professional medical advice. Always consult a licensed healthcare provider before making medical decisions. Clinicians must rely on their own judgment and training in all patient care situations.